All right, let's jump into a topic that, well, sparkles. It's all about engagements. We're going to uncover the most popular times of year to pop that big question.
Right.
And I think you might be surprised by some of this.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. We've got some great data from Darianna Bridal and Tuxedo,
Perfect.
a bridal shop. So they're right there, they're seeing it all.
Yeah, they're in the thick of it.
They know what's up.
So I'm going to guess Valentine's Day, big one, maybe New Year's Eve. Like, those got to be classic proposal dates.
You're on the right track, but hold on. Okay, so Darianna, they break down this whole concept of engagement season, which in the U.S., it runs from Thanksgiving to Valentine's Day.
Engagement season. Is that an actual thing or that just, clever marketing?
No, it's a thing. It's real. And get this, 40% of engagements happen during those few months.
40%. Wow. Why that time period? What are we just like feeling cozy?
Maybe. I mean, think about it. Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It's all about family, love, celebration. It kind of sets the mood, right?
Yeah, plus there's something romantic about winter. Snow falling, fireplaces, those twinkling lights, like a movie.
Exactly. And get this, the bridal shop, they see way more appointments, longer waiting lists for dress fittings during engagement season.
Ah, so there really is something in the air, huh? So, okay, engagement season's real, but what are the peak proposal dates? Like, give me the insider info here.
Okay, well, based on their survey, it's probably no surprise. Valentine's Day is #1.
Makes sense. It's like Romance Central, right? But what about the rest of the list? What else is up there?
Well, next up, we've got the Saturday before Christmas.
Oh, smart move, yeah. Get it in before everyone travels for the holidays.
Right. And then it's Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, boom, boom, boom. The holidays are a proposal palooza.
It really is. I bet having family around to share that moment, that's got to be a big part of it too, right?
Definitely. And as the bridal shop said, what better gift than a fiancé for Christmas?
Haha, right. Okay, so we got Valentine's Day, that whole week leading up to New Year's. What other dates cracked the top 9?
The 2 Saturdays before Christmas and December 23rd.
So basically, if you want to get engaged before the year ends, you got options. It's kind of wild how these patterns emerge.
It is. But engagements happen outside of engagement season, too. Let's talk about some other popular dates, some that might surprise you.
Okay, yeah. What are we looking at beyond the holiday craziness?
Oh, birthdays. Those are big.
Oh, birthdays. Makes sense. Already a special day. Why not make it even more special?
Right, and then anniversaries of when the couple met. Very popular.
It's so sweet. It's like this date started our journey. Now let's begin a new chapter.
Exactly. And for a summer vibe, we got the 4th of July.
Ooh, fireworks and a proposal. Talk about going out with a bang.
Uh-huh, right. And the bridal shop even mentioned seeing more appointments around the 4th of July, so it tracks.
Makes sense. Summer vibes, fireworks. Pretty epic backdrop. It seems like even with all these trends, any date can be special if you make it special, right?
Absolutely. We got to emphasize that. These are just trends, not rules.
Yeah, nobody should feel pressured to propose on a certain date just because it's statistically popular.
Exactly. It's about finding a date that feels meaningful to you as a couple.
I love that. So it's the personal connection that really matters. That's
Yeah.
awesome. But before we jump into part 2, I'm curious. We see how popular this whole engagement season is, but do you think all that popularity, does it kind of put pressure on couples? Like to conform to that time frame?
That's a really good question. Something we're going to dig into in part 2, for sure. We'll talk about all those psychological and societal factors that, might be driving these trends.
Sounds good. All right, listeners, we're going to take a quick pause here, but stick around. When we come back in part 2, we'll be diving deeper into the why behind these engagement trends. Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. So before the break, we were talking about the most popular times to get engaged. And I gotta say, this whole engagement season thing, it's really got me thinking.
Yeah, it's just fascinating, right? Like, what is it about this time of year? Why are we, programmed to get all romantic?
Yeah, the holidays are nice and all, but is there something deeper going on here?
Well, let's break it down. First off, the holidays themselves. We got Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. It's all about family, being close, that warm, fuzzy feeling.
Yeah. So maybe that just boosts those lovey-dovey vibes that are already there in a relationship.
Exactly. Plus, you got the whole winter scene thing going on,
Yeah.
snow, fireplaces, pretty lights. It's romantic.
Yeah, it's like a built-in romantic backdrop. But I wonder, is there also like a social pressure thing? You see everyone else getting engaged around the holidays. Maybe you start feeling like you got to do it too.
Oh, for sure. Social pressure is huge.
Yeah.
We see those happy couples, engagement rings,
Yeah.
all over social media. It kind of sets the standards,
Both
right?
like instead of keeping up with the Joneses, it's keeping up with the engagements.
Exactly. It's crazy how much that stuff can influence us. Okay, but let's talk about those peak dates within engagement season. Valentine's Day, Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. What's the deal with those?
Well, they all kind of come with these big expectations, don't they? Like
Sure.
Valentine's Day, it's supposed to be the most romantic day, and Christmas and New Year's Eve, there's all this magic and new beginning stuff.
You're right, they're packed with meaning, you
Yeah.
know? And that adds a whole other layer to the proposal. It's like you're making a memory that'll always be tied to that day.
I get it. But does it also add like pressure? Proposing on Valentine's Day, it's got to be this big romantic, Instagram-worthy thing.
That's an interesting point. Yeah, proposals have definitely gotten more elaborate thanks social media. It's almost like it's become a performance.
So is it less about like real love and more about putting on a show?
I don't think it's always like that.
Yeah.
But people are definitely more aware of how their proposal will look to others. So yeah, there's pressure to make it shareable, impressive.
It makes you think, huh, how much is social media changing how we experience romance? Okay, let's switch gears a bit. What about those popular dates that aren't during engagement season? Birthdays, anniversaries, 4th of July. What's the psychology there?
I think this is more personal, you know. Birthdays, anniversaries, they celebrate the person, the relationship. It's thoughtful, intimate, romantic.
Yeah, it's like, I love you and our journey so much that I want to make this special day even more special.
Exactly. It's about those shared memories, experiences.
And 4th of July, is it just the fireworks or is there something more to it?
The fireworks are cool for sure, but I also think there's that like shared national pride thing. It's like you're saying yes to each other and to your future together in this country.
Wow, that's actually really beautiful. It's not just about romance, and it's bigger than that. It's about values, hopes for the future.
Right. And it reminds us that proposals, they're more than just a ring or the gesture, you know? It's two people choosing to build a life together, a family. It's a big deal.
It really is. It makes you think about how much weight a proposal carries. It's not just a question, it's a statement about the future you want to create.
Absolutely. And that brings us back to what Darianna Bridal was saying about choice. These trends are interesting, but at the end of the day, the date has to feel real and meaningful to the couple.
Yeah, no right or wrong answer, right? No one should feel pressured to follow these trends.
Right on. It's got to be about finding that perfect date for you.
Love that. So we've talked about proposals, but what about the wedding day itself? The bridal shop mentioned some interesting trends for wedding months, especially for 2025.
Oh yeah, this is where it gets interesting. So May is actually leading the pack as the most popular month to get married in 2025.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
That's a big change. I always thought October was the big wedding month.
It was, but it looks like spring weddings are having a moment.
Why do you think that is?
Probably a few reasons.
Yeah.
May has great weather, everything's blooming, longer days, that fresh start feeling.
Plus, you avoid the crazy summer heat or the unpredictable fall weather.
Right. May's the sweet spot, climate-wise. Perfect for those outdoor weddings everyone loves these days.
Yeah, that makes sense. But it can't just be the weather, right? What about budget? I've heard June weddings can be really expensive.
Oh yeah, budget's a huge factor. June, September, October, those peak season months can really hit your wallet hard.
So maybe May's a good choice if you're trying to save a little.
Could be. Of course, there's also personal preference, and what works with the couple's lifestyle.
Right, like some people might have a special reason for wanting to get married in a certain month. Maybe they met in May, or it has some other meaning for them.
For sure. It's about finding that balance between practical stuff, personal stuff, and their overall vision for their wedding.
I bet trends play a part too, don't they?
Oh, absolutely. Trends come and go. They influence everything, colors, dresses, even the time of year people get married.
It's like wedding fashion. But again, it's important to remember trends are for inspiration, not obligation.
Couldn't agree more. What matters is that the wedding feels authentic to the couple.
Yeah.
Their story.
I love that. So it sounds like finding that sweet spot between what you want and what's practical. That's key. But wedding planning can be so overwhelming. Any advice for couples just starting out?
First of all, congratulations. It's such an exciting time. My advice would be figure out what's most important to you as a couple. Is it the venue, the food, the music, the guest list?
Yeah, good point.
Cool.
Once you know what your priorities are, it's easier to make decisions and stay on budget.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to ask for help, whether it's family, friends, or a wedding planner. A little support can go a long way.
That's such good advice. And remember, at the end of the day, it's your day. Don't stress about pleasing everyone or following every trend. Just be yourselves and enjoy it.
Well said. Wow, we've covered a lot today, haven't we? Proposal timing, psychology, wedding planning.
We have. But before we wrap up, I'm curious, is there like one big takeaway you want listeners to walk away with?
Well, we've seen how trends, pressure, personal stuff, all of it plays a role in our romantic decisions.
Yeah.
But love, it's personal, you know? There's no one right way to do relationships.
Yeah, I love that. Whether it's a big proposal or a small wedding, it's about celebrating your own unique love story. No need to follow trends that don't feel right to you.
Exactly. Do your own thing, make it your own. And remember, proposal, wedding.
Mm-hmm.
It's all about the love you share.
Beautifully said. All right, listeners, we're going to take another quick break, but don't go anywhere. When we come back in part 3, we'll be looking ahead to the future of weddings. What trends are coming? How will tech and social change keep shaking things up? Stay tuned. Welcome back to the deep dive. So we've talked about engagements, proposals, planning the big day, but now I want to look ahead, what's next for weddings?
Right. Like, we know trends come and go, but weddings, they're always changing.
Exactly. What do you think? What's on the horizon?
Well, one thing that's really interesting is this whole focus on making it personal, authentic.
What do you mean?
Like, couples moving away from those cookie-cutter weddings.
Huh.
They want something that reflects them, their values, their style.
So less about tradition, more about creating an experience that really means something to them.
Yeah. And I think we'll see that in everything, the venue, the ceremony, the whole reception vibe.
Yeah, for sure. I've seen so many couples choosing unique places to get married. Art galleries, museums, even breweries,
Exactly. It's about finding a space that tells their story.
Okay, so what about tech? How's that going to change weddings in the future?
Tech's already a big part of it, right? Planning tools, social media, and I think it's only going to get bigger.
Yeah, can you imagine? Virtual reality weddings, augmented reality decorations.
Totally. You could have guests attending virtually from anywhere in the world. Or, imagine having these personalized AR elements all around the venue.
That's wild. So many possibilities.
Right. But I think the key is tech should add to the experience, not take away from it.
Totally agree. It's about finding that balance, embracing the new stuff, but keeping that special wedding feeling.
Exactly. Okay, but what about, bigger changes in society? How do you think those will impact weddings?
That's a good question. We're already seeing more inclusivity in weddings, right? More representation.
Definitely. Weddings are becoming more diverse, and that's awesome.
It's so important for everyone to feel welcome and celebrated, on their wedding day.
Absolutely. And I think we'll also see more focus on sustainability, ethical choices.
Yeah, people care about that stuff more and more. They want their wedding to reflect their values.
Right. Locally sourced food, eco-friendly decor, even charitable donations, all that's going to be more common.
So it sounds like the future of weddings is all about making it your own, being mindful of your choices, and yeah, keeping it real.
And of course, love. No matter what happens with trends or tech, weddings are about love and commitment, right?
That's beautiful. It's a good reminder that with all the planning and details, the most important thing is your connection with each other.
Absolutely. Something to cherish, whether you have a big wedding or elope on a mountaintop.
Well said. Well, I think that brings us to the end of our deep dive into engagements and weddings.
It's been quite a journey, right?
It has. We talked about trends, traditions, the psychology of it all, and even got a sneak peek into the future.
And I think the biggest takeaway is love stories are unique. Every couple should celebrate their love in a way that feels right to them.
Absolutely. So to all our listeners out there, engaged, planning a wedding, or just enjoying the love ride, we wish you all the best.
And remember, trends come and go, but stay true to yourselves and celebrate that love. Thanks for joining us on The Deep Dive.
We'll see you next time.